Hello friends, welcome back to another session with me Sanyukta Saxena, certified Zentangle teacher. In today's session we shall be learning another Zentangle original pattern called 9, very much inspired from the Roman numeral 9. And we shall be learning how to draw the basic pattern and also draw a tile together, just as we do in all our sessions, using the pattern 9 and a few more tangles to go along. I'll also show you tiles depicting certain variations of the pattern so that you get an idea of how to use the pattern in different ways, right? But first get started and learn how to draw the basic pattern, right? The pattern as is. So 9 is a pattern which is inspired from the Roman numeral, as I said, 9. So basically it is 2 in 1. So I am drawing an X and I am also saying that it has both the 1 and the X together, right? So the name 9. So what I do is I'll start with something like this, a line, one line of the X, and add these extensions at the end. Looks like a T or an I, the Roman I, right? And then I'll start auraing it like this. So I will add about 2 or 3 auras. So this is 2 auras, and then I will draw the other line crossing the first line, forming the X. So I'm only drawing lines here, you must have noted, and I'm auraing them, right? So again I will add 2 auras to this one also. 1 and 2. Right? Once we have done that, then I am going to take turns and add auras to both these lines. So this is the third one, and probably add one more, fourth one. So there is no rule, but you can add in groups of 2, in groups of 3, you can add one each time, right? So there is no rule hard and fast. So 2 I have added. Again I will take 2 this, add 2 to this side of the line, 1, 2, right? So once I continue doing this, you will see that I get a weaving kind of effect, right? Again 1, something like we did in Elish, if you remember, if you have seen the video. It's again weaving. So following the sequence is the key. So again added 2 here, and we'll again add 2 to this. One and 2, right? So you can see how the weave effect is coming, right? The crisscross is forming here just because you are auraing in a certain sequence. So how do we generally shade it? Again, these crisscross points where lines are intersecting, and these curves where lines are turning are good ways of shading the pattern 9. However, you can always find a new way, and moreover if you are embellishing it, then again the filling decides how to shade. I'll show you a few tiles and you will get a better idea of how you can vary the shading, how you can use the pattern in different ways, how can you embellish it, right? So this is the basic pattern 9. You can also use your chalk pencil and highlight places like this here, right? So yeah, So that's the basic pattern 9. So now let's have a look on a few tiles that I have drawn. So this is a tile to show you how you can embellish the pattern, right? I'll just, yeah. So you can see gnome and few more tangles. So I have filled up the auras with tangles, and you can see how embellished it looks like, right? Normal fescue to the outside. Again, how you can use the spaces created in between these V shapes, or when you draw the X. So I use the pattern Vinex and Hollebog in the background, right? Again, this is 9 used like a square, so crisscross. Each of these 4 corners are 9, and you can see how they make up like a frame, and added the pattern wells and gorgeous to go along, right? This is the teaser that I had posted. You can see how it has 9 in a jumbled up way. So is it that the X has to be perfect X? No, please, you can vary. So the shape of the X is something you can play around with, right? So again, this is another placement, right? So placed in a zigzag way and forming these spaces in between. I filled up with Marasu and Vertigo to go along, right? So a lot of ways, just experiment, right? Explore. And today we'll be drawing another tile and see how we can use 9 differently. So again, 4 dots in the corner. I'll be joining the dots with a very light hand to form a border, right? And then we straight away get started. So I'm going to now do one more variation. So in all these tiles we have basically used straight lines for 9, right? So what I'm going to do today is add a little curve to the line and draw a flowy 9, right? Something like this, okay? So instead of keeping the line straight, I've added a little curve to the line, right? And now I'm going to fill it up. You can also add orbs inside, but at times inking looks nice. It adds value, drama. So I'm using a regular square tile here, and I'm using a PN. You can always use an O1, right? And now I'm going to be adding few auras. So closely aura, right? And then the other side. It's better to start from here, where you can see the line ahead you, to which you have to add an aura, right? So I'll add one more. Right, so we added 2. Now we will cross it. So again I will draw a zigzag line, double line it, add an aura, fill it in, right? So we done that. Now again, doing the same exercise, we'll add an aura. So just remember that we have to add auras simultaneously to both and not keep adding aura to one and then draw the other line and then add auras to the other. You will not get the weaving effect if you draw in that fashion, right? So added one aura, again another one. Since I added two to the first one, move your tile, rotate your tile. Don't move your hand much once you have hit the comfort position. Yeah, so I am adding the third one now. Right, and I'll add one to this one also. Right, and then the fourth one here. The fourth one here. Right, so again add the fourth one this side. So I'm going to be taking turns and add one aura each. I think 2 or 3 times more. Yeah, so I think I'll do this exercise at least 2 times more. So I have added one more, right? So let us now extend our 9 a little more. So I'm going to be now adding few more tangles. So first starting with Diva Dance. Right, so we have already learned the pattern. So this is the waltz version, the straight line version. Right, so going to add these humps here and there and then closely aura the previous line. Right, so you can either add the humps first or you can aura and then add the humps. It's entirely up to you. Right, so I'm going to add some Diva Dance on all the 4 sides. Again I'll start here, then add some humps here and there, again aura closely, again add some humps, again aura closely, again add some humps, So I'll do the same on all 4 sides. So this side and this side also I'll do exactly the same exercise. So I am now on the last side, already done adding the pattern Diva Dance on the 3 in between spaces. So Diva Dance is all about adding these auras and bolding portions. It's a very handy tangle, comes very handy to fill up spaces. Right, so I think we are done with that. Now the rest of the space, it is up to us what do we want to do. So I am going to keep it simple. I am going to add the pattern Frackers. Right, so we have already learned the pattern Frackers. So I am going to be adding these curves and then ink it and then leave a highlight in between. Right, something like this. So somewhere hidden inside my Diva Dance. Right, so going to again add Frackers here. So all these sections which are empty, I am going to be using the pattern Frackers. Right, so again we can always extend it like this. Right, again if you want you can add little Diva Dance here also, so your Frackers has a outer boundary where to stop to avoid any confusion. Right, so just a touch of Diva Dance here, so you limit your Frackers till there. Right, that's entirely optional if you wish to. If you don't wish to, please, the way I have drawn, you can always draw behind. So this is going to ease our work a little bit, that's why I added a few. Right, so again, so take your time, go slow. So continuing with the same exercise, adding Frackers to the last section, that is this one. So Frackers is again a tangle which is very simple to draw, and shading adds a lot of effect to the tangle. When you shade both sides of Frackers, it adds great dimension. Right, so I have added Frackers. Now let us move on to shading. I think we are done with the drawing part. If you want, you can just with a gentle hand close the loose ends of the tile. It's entirely optional, you can leave it like that also. Right, so I'm now going to move on to shading my tile. So let us first shade our 9. So the humps are going to be highlighted and the dips are going to be darkened, right? So that's how you can highlight the hump when you add shading to the dips. Again to the corners, again where there are dips you can add some shading. Right, so yeah, and then I'm going to leave my Diva Dance as it is for now and add at the edges of my Frackers or 9, whatever, because we are doing the same exercise together. I'm also outlining my 9 and outlining my Frackers. Right, so spaces are small, so make sure that you don't blend too much, otherwise the whole tile looks gray and there is not much meaning of highlight. Right, so you just have to blend the right amount. So let's first shade this much and then we'll see if we need to add something to our Diva Dance. Right, so going to blend add a little graphite at the corner here. Right, again blend here. So make sure that the high and low is visible and you don't blend too much. And the fourth section. You can also add a touch here at the crossings, not too much, it's already gray, so just a slight touch. Right, so you can see the flow is showing now, and then carefully blend the inside of the Frackers. Don't blend too much. Just blurring the graphite that I've already put. Right. So there are so many ways to use a single pattern, so that's why I say that even if you know some 20-25 patterns, you can create a number of tiles using those patterns, because the variations are unlimited. Each time you can use it in a different way, so just have to explore, let your imagination run wild. And you don't need to know a plethora of tangles, you just need to know a few, and you can create so many pieces using those few patterns only. Right, so master the basic pattern first, how to draw the basic, and then once you master it, then you can yourself create so many variations out of it. So as you can see, I am not blending too much. I am making sure that the center remains white because we need a highlight, right? Otherwise the look of Frackers will not come. Right, so that's Frackers in between our 9 and Diva Dance. So I'm going to add a little highlight to the upper humps like this, right? Not too much, a bit. Right, right. So what you can also do here is add some touch of shading on the Diva Dance. So I'm going to add a little here and add a little here, just the ends, right? Yeah, so let us blend it first. So there's one more thing that you can do. If you really think that your 9 is getting lost somewhere in between the Diva Dance, which it is not exactly, but if you still feel, then what you can do is add a little gray pencil, that is watercolor pencil, right? So let me see if I can find it. There's always some last moment addition that I feel like doing. So you can always, add some more darkness. So it will give a lift to your 9 also, and it will give a lift to your Frackers and Diva Dance also, right? So what I am doing is using my gray watercolor pencil and adding a border to these sections where I have drawn the Frackers, right? Yeah, done that. So now you can use your brush pen or you can use normal brush, just wet the nib, and with a very soft hand just blend the black watercolor. Don't blend too much. So this will add additional darkness to the pencil, and your Frackers will really look like it's inside somewhere hidden behind your 9, right? So I'm really going light, not blending too much, just touching on the border, right? So the additional drama that the color pencil, the watercolor pencil has added, will really add to the look of your tile. But you can always do away with it, or you can use a darker pencil, right, to do the same activity. So this is re-emphasizing my 9 and my Frackers together, so that's why I did it, right? So I'll close my tile here. You can go on and on, right? So you have spaces in between your Frackers also. If you want, you can fill it up. I'm going to close my tile here. Putting in my chalk, just shake it a bit so that the watercolor doesn't smudge. Yeah. So take a moment to appreciate your tile, and we shall meet again with another Zentangle original pattern. Do subscribe to my videos if you like them. And I'll be posting all these tiles on my Facebook page and my Insta handle. So do catch up, right? Till then, bye-bye. See you. Have a great time. Stay safe.